The ones who succeed are the ones who keep showing all the time, even through this chaotic situation. Day one comes. You are now very much focused on growing and you're excited and very much disciplined in day one. You're not disciplined enough for the fourth. And this is the famous trade-offs. You can't do everything by yourself. True discipline comes really when things get messy. Marhaba and how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Yuwab, your place to grow and thrive at work and life. I'm your host, Saeed Ghafri. Thank you for being with me. And if you're new here, thank whoever shared this episode with you. And always remember this ask. Keep sharing this episode if you find it useful. Today, we are diving into a question that I always ask myself, and I get it a lot from people. They'll be like, Saeed, how do we stay disciplined when things go around us and feels very much chaotic? Because let's be honest, life rarely gives us those perfect conditions where we can perform and do things in life. We've got a family, which is basically very demanding, especially if you have more members, kids. You've got work, which is also very demanding nowadays, and all the stresses around it. Your health, deadlines, setbacks, running that 5 kilometer in the morning, so many things. Yet, the ones who succeed are the ones who keep showing all the time, even through this chaotic situation, because that's life. And life is very demanding. It's not something that you can change. And technology today is making it easier for us to do more and to perform more because information is very much accessible. You may be thinking, all right, Saeed, we can be disciplined much more better. Trust me, that's the opposite, because now you can do more with such information in your hand. So let's dive deep. Anyone can be disciplined when life is calm. If you go somewhere where nothing is happening, things will be easy for you. It's like when I meditate in a noisy environment, it's very difficult to concentrate compared to a place next to a river. Things are serene, it's beautiful, it's easy, I can focus. True discipline comes really when things get messy. That's why I love mindfulness. Let's demonstrate what happens when we are not really disciplined. Let's say you are basically planning something new in your startup. Let's say everything is planned, you're very excited, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to scale that business. Let's say you've been there, you've been doing it, now you have a small team, and you want to scale your business. Let's look at your priorities. You've got your current projects versus growing new projects on the existing ones. And then you have that clarity on the vision and the growing element that you wanted to do business-wise. Then you have your family, basically passing by the supermarkets and getting that, stuff that needs to be bought, your friends who wants to go out, and really taking care of yourself. Okay, these are all your priorities. Now we come to the real execution. Day one comes. You are now very much focused on growing and you're excited and very much disciplined in day one. Okay? And what happens is you see yourself not doing a lot, which is natural because growth takes time. You're going to see yourself between old and new projects, naturally. And then you have a team where you say, you know what, fine, I'm just going to step into their basically roles and do the job. And then it'll be like, okay, perfect, do it. That's easy for us. Then you have your family, you have your friends, you have your basically health. Once you what happens naturally is that you focus on the current business, and then all these people, family, friends, health, are what you pay off naturally. Eventually what happens is that you not focus on growth because you're focusing on the current operation of running your thing. You get overwhelmed, you get stressed, and then what happens ultimately is that you are not growing, or you're going to do it again. Let's say you're a company now, and you are running a transformation program, and trust me, I've done a lot. Usually these things takes years, and if you're not disciplined, then things will not go well. What happened? Everything goes well, you've done the assessment, that's the program you want to basically do, the strategy or whatever. Everyone is excited, the design phase is done, yalla, now it's time to execute. The chief of the company sent this famous communication letter that says, we are starting, and that's basically the project. A week passes, 2 new demands comes to the company itself. You know what happens most of the time is we'll say, oh, we're going to be there for the next 2-3 years. This can wait. And then basically what happens is that the full attention goes into these 2 specific things. You're not disciplined enough for it. And then everyone else is basically conditioned to do it. It's needed. Then it's done. You come after a week to the program. A month passes. And then another thing comes. And then everything really pauses. And you know what's really coming. What happens is that people will be basically between this and then between the program that you want to do. And they will say that's not a priority. And then it will lose momentum. The transformation will slow down. Blaming will start, which is my favorite. And everyone is stressed in that specific thing. And then you'll be like, okay, let's do a new program to rectify what has been damaged. So this is what happened when you basically are not disciplined. Let me share with you my story. I remember one day I walked into the office, and I remember that day was so special to the point that I was processing everything in my mind while driving, parking my car, walking to the office. And then I basically pulled up my iPad to journal, and I'm like, how does the next 3 months look like? And honestly, I finished and I'm like, how the heck will I manage that? It's just too much. When I looked at it, I was doing a lot of large projects, not only in work, but also life. And being a higher achiever, things were moving very slow, and I don't like that most of the time. I'm basically a guy who's very much on a fast pace. At that time, things were moving slow or not even moving. For a moment, I paranoid. Then I lost track, actually. I'm like, okay, I don't really belong. And then I gained back composure. Let me tell you what I did. And this is the famous trade-offs. You can't do everything by yourself, honestly. Or you cannot do it if you're basically in such a state. So I said, okay, work is a priority now. Then I said, family is next. And I spoke to my family and I told them, listen, I'm doing this. I've got a lot of stuff happening at work. I may not be very much attending these things. Please understand. And I stopped taking any coaching clients at that time. I'm like, I cannot do it anymore. I cannot do it. I used to have only 2 every 3 months. But right now, the urge to do more, I couldn't do it. Even to do any, I couldn't. And then I was planning to basically progress my company, my startup. Honestly, I stopped that. I even didn't pay attention to it. So these were my priorities. Then I looked at my work. I looked at the workload. And honestly, I'm like, how am I going to do this? It's just too much. And you're the CEO of the company. I remember one project had 20 initiatives or maybe 25 initiatives, and they were not really moving. What I did, I limited those to only 3. Honestly, when I did that, oh my God, the reaction of the people was like, what the hell are you doing, man? Why are you doing this? Why? We can do 20. Okay, if you can do 20, why haven't you done it? Reality is, honestly, the focus was not there anymore. And I could not really drive 20. So what I did 80-20 analysis. And those three would give me 80% value. So I said, okay, let me focus on that. So I allocated my time on these initiatives. And guess what? Things started moving again. And results happened. And honestly, the value just started to come. Amazing. Even people were very much relaxed, honestly, around that. So that's one project. And I remember I did so many things, but one project was very much cross-functional, very much political, very much took all my time. I just said, sorry, I cannot be there, and I apologized. People didn't like that, but honestly, I had to make my priorities well, and so on. Eventually, I was very much consistent with 3 key projects at work, out of actually a lot. And honestly, that was very much close to me, and I made very good impact when it comes to that. And the good thing is when you do that, the team all focuses and start achieving. And this is the most important thing. And then you will have more time to basically do the things that you like to do. It's not only you're there to do results or achieve things or do a strategy. You're there to be with your employees. You're there to basically support them. You're there to listen to them. You're there to encourage them. And also you need time to recover as a person, as a leader, because it's very important. When you recover, you fuel well, and then you start creating impact much more better. You see what happens here. It's very important to know that things are very important in life, but again, discipline, what really is the most important thing here. Now, you may be thinking, Saeed, what basically we should focus on? So these are 3 anchors I used in a situation when I feel like things are not going very well and I need to be disciplined. And I always coach people on that. The first thing is anchor yourself to small, daily, non-negotiable steps or projects. Small. Don't really focus on the big ones. You know, when life gets messy, what happens is that things which are big becomes even triple big. And things are really exaggerated. So the more you focus on small things, the better. Let's say, let me give you an example. Let's say like things are going chaotic for you and you used to work for 1 hour per day. 1 hour is just too much. Yeah, you can do maybe 20 push-ups on that specific day and life goes on. You've done your workout. And again, not the half push-ups, the proper one, where you're really exhausted. And if you can do 30, why not? You can do 30. Reality is focus on those small things on a daily basis. The second thing is, let's say you want to be with your family. Show up for that dinner with them. That's very holistic and it means a lot, and be genuine about it. That 30 minutes quality time is maybe worth 20 hours worth of engagement with your family. And the last thing you can do is track those small things when it comes to a project and then reward milestones. This basically makes you much more anchored when it comes to those small wins. The second point here is anchor yourself to whatever you can control. And you know, some of the people is they try to control the external environment or control the storm. If the storm is coming, you cannot really control it. You cannot. What's really important is how are they going to control your response to that storm or to that specific situations. Always ask yourself one thing. What can I control today? First question. And then the second one is, and this is the most important thing, what will happen if I don't control the others? Because what happens is that you want to control everything and then feel bad that you haven't controlled everything. So the first question is, what's the one thing that you can control today, or few things? And what will happen if you don't control the other things? And again, the last question is, ask yourself, is this normal or abnormal for the things that you want to control? If it is abnormal, yes, you have to control it. You have no other option, or do something about it. That will give you a peace of mind when it comes to staying on track. The third thing here is anchor yourself to why you started doing this thing. It's your purpose. Because you know what happened? When you're in this chaotic situation, it makes you forget your why, your existence in life, your purpose. What's really good is write it down. I've been saying this a lot, but again, it just helps you anchor yourself to your why, your purpose, your existence in life. And it will remind you that you should not really quit. You know, a lot of companies, they have rituals around their purpose, their mission, their values. What happens is that this is basically a motivator for them to be disciplined when it comes to that. Let me share with you one last story before we end. You know, I love coaching, but it's very tiring. I started the whole coaching certification because of one thing. I wanted to inspire a lot of people. Now, there were times where I go through the coaching session and I'm very tired. It's really draining because you listen, you have to observe, you listen. And imagine you do 3 in a row. It's just tiring for the brain. But I always remember and I tell myself that I'm there to inspire people. And this is what I want to do. And what reminds me is after each session, when I ask my clients and I tell them, how did you find the session? When they give me that smile, that it was fruitful and they benefited a lot, that makes my day. And this is something that I always anchor myself to, the why, especially when things go very much chaotic. So this is a reflection back to you. Think of all the people you admire the most. Do you think that they are free from any chaotic situation? Absolutely not. They've just mastered how to be disciplined in the chaos when it comes to that. So really, don't wait for the perfect conditions. Always try to create progress, even when things are not really moving that fast and not really perfect. All right? So here is my challenge for you today. This week, just pick one small, non-negotiable thing and keep it, no matter how messy things get in front of you. Just keep doing it. And journal about what basically evolved when you did that. And remember, discipline isn't about controlling over your life. It's about control over yourself. All right? At Yuwab, we really believe that any chaotic situation is not really your enemy. It's really how you face it and stay focused and then ultimately grow. Until next time, stay consistent, stay anchored, and thrive within that storm. مع السلامة.